This week, Vice President and most homophobic man to be wearing that much makeup, Mike Pence, did an interview with CNN's Jake Tapper in which Tapper continually went after Pence for having the gall, the nerve, to support a president who is not currently bombing innocent people in Iran. Why isn't he bombing?
Now, you initially supported the military strike against Iran. Do you agree that there is a risk that Iran will get the wrong message from the president's restraint, as you put it?
Way to go, Jake. Way to nail the Trump administration for being too restrained. That's like telling Hannibal Lecter he's too nice to dinner guests. This is an administration that, according to Air Force Central Command, drops roughly 121 bombs a day. Mr. Vice President, I understand that we are currently dropping bombs on Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Yemen, Somalia, Libya, Niger, sometimes Pakistan. But why is President Trump such a pussyfootin' peacenik? With the flowers in his hair and the incense, always walking around barefoot. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. But much like a man masturbating in the park, Jake Tapper is not done yet.
I expect Iran and our allies in the region have no doubt about the military capabilities of the United States of America.
But you worry that they worry
believe
that the
that's
president
probably
isn't willing to pull the trigger. Is that a concern at all?
Well,
Yes, Jake. Way to go. It's not enough that we have sanctions on the country that are killing tens of thousands, just like our economic war in Venezuela. Recently, this report came out and said it killed roughly 40,000 people over the past couple years. But CNN wants to know why this sissy president won't get his tiny hands bloody. This is what our corporate media does. It makes your average American think that there are only two sides of this debate, right? Either A, get into a cataclysmic war with Iran, or B, don't get into war with Iran, but still kill a lot of their people with economic sanctions while accusing every Iranian of being an evil villain. And that second option is the peaceful option. That's the nice one. However, there's a top secret third option that can never be mentioned on CNN. Here it is. What if we never withdrew from the carefully negotiated multi-nation nuclear deal? And what if we didn't surround Iran with our military bases? And what if we didn't constantly threaten them? How's that sound? There's an idea. But CNN is worried that if secret choice number 3 were ever uttered on TV, some people might think it sounds like a good idea. No! And here's something else that can't ever be talked about on the mainstream media: the history of Iran. 1953, we overthrew their democratically elected leader. 1953 to 79, the U.S. backed the tyrannical rule of the Shah. 1980 to 88, we backed Iraq's war with Iran. 1987, we sank 2 Iranian warships. 1988, a U.S. Navy ship shot down Iran Air Flight 655, killing all 290 innocent people on board. 8 years later, in court, the U.S. said it regretted the loss of human life and paid Iran $61 million in restitution. 1995, we increased oil and trade sanctions. And then, of course, there's whatever the today is. I don't know what this is. We're waging economic war on them, and we just admitted to cyber attacking their missile systems. But yes, Jake Tapper, tell us again how we're too easy on Iran. No, seriously. Keep pressuring Mike Pence, one of the most bloodthirsty American leaders, to kill more people. I want to show you something that happened a few days ago that demonstrates how ruthlessly pathetic our mainstream media is. I'm talking award-winning levels of suck, all right? I'm talking the Dyson guy actually sells our mainstream media to people who want to suck the paint off their house. That's how bad it is. The radio show Loud and Clear brought this story to my attention, and it's incredible. Okay, let's take a country that our corporate media wants you to hate. For example, North Korea. Our corporate media despises them. And can you blame them? I mean, look at them, gross, right? Our media doesn't want peace with North Korea. They don't want thawing tensions. They don't want relations. They want the average American to view North Korea just like this, all right? That is all it is. That is the entirety and the nuance of the whole country. So how do they achieve that? Well, one way is to act like all of North Korea is one person. All 26 million people are a single pudgy tyrant. That is it. Now look at these headlines from just a couple weeks ago. ABC News. North Korea executed its top nuclear negotiators according to report. Yes, the whole nation executed them. Even the baby North Koreans played a hand in the murder. North Korean babies fucking despise nuclear negotiators. They really do. And here's the New York Times. North Korea executed and purged top nuclear negotiators, South Korean report says. And here's my favorite from Reuters. North Korea executes envoy to failed U.S. summit, media. Who told you they were executed? Media. Media told me. You know media. They tell us things. It was media. Point is, everybody in America sees this and thinks, dear God, what a tyrant Kim Jong-un is. But oh wait, 3 days later, we find out North Korean official executed over failed nuclear summit with U.S. seen enjoying concerts. Well, you know, if you were executed, wouldn't you want to relax with a nice concert? I mean, why not have some fun? You're already dead. Time to unwind, right? Take a load off. But yes, the bullshit story that our corporate media ran around with was, colored me shocked, bullshit. And even the New York Times, which helped spread those lies, they admitted later, supposedly executed former North Korean nuclear envoy is alive. But don't worry. If you were still into the story about how the nuclear envoy had been killed, and you don't like the part where it wasn't true, you can still find the article about how they were executed on the New York Times website right now. Here's the opening sentence that is still online as of this taping. North Korea has executed its special envoy to the U.S. on spying charges as its leader, Kim Jong-un, has engineered a sweeping purge of the country's top nuclear negotiators. You would think, at the very least, once the New York Times reporters found out the envoy was alive, they might put at the top of the article, correction, totally not executed. Or, correction, everything that follows is utter horseshit. It is diarrhea heated up with a bow on top, all right? You should not read this. You are getting dumber with every sentence you take into your brain ball. Please stop reading this ranted garbage. Shouldn't that be at the top of every article? It should. Right there. And in fact, to the New York Times credit of that article, they actually did have a correction. It says, correction, an earlier version of this article misidentified Kim Yo-jong's brother. It is Kim Jong-un, not Kim Jong. Thank you for that, New York Times. But where is the secondary correction? Top nuclear negotiators not executed. Like, of those two corrections, one mistakenly confusing Kim Jong-il with Kim Jong-un, and the other one about how the entire article is false. Which is more important? I mean, what the fuck goes on at the New York Times? What is he like in those offices? I don't understand. What are you guys doing? Why is this happening? I don't like what is this the average conversation? Like, hey guys, there's a grammatical error here. It says North Korean diplomat was executed by 1,000 angry wasps, and it should have said diplomats were executed by 1,000 angry wasps. Let's make sure we get that fixed. Boss, what about the part where the whole article is rubbish? Should we correct that? Oh no, leave that. That's fine. People keep sharing these like that's being shared right now. They keep passing it around. Dumb people will quote it to their dumb friends who will go, no way, I can't believe that. Like that's happening right now. Imagine if I wrote a column about how Shaquille O'Neal choked to death on the Shaq sleep apnea mask that he sells. That's a real thing. And then it comes out, no, Shaq was seen walking around the other day, very alive, and yet I leave the article up without correction saying Shaq is dead. I would be called a fucking con artist. No one would trust me or hire me. And this shit is not new. Brutally executed North Koreans have a strange habit of turning up alive. It's the damnedest thing. Here's from back in 2016. North Korean general reported executed, turns up at party Congress. That's the guy the Washington Post had declared was executed with an anti-aircraft gun. Wow! Of all the ways to not really be killed, that is one of the worst. And Alan McLeod at Fairness and Accuracy in Reporting found several good examples, including this one from 2018. North Korea executes officer who jumped the gun on peace on peninsula. That man was later found to be also a member of The Walking Dead as well. But then there's the more broad, ridiculous claims. In 2016, CNN said, Kim Jong-un has executed over 300 people since coming to power. Holy shit, Batman, that's a lot of people. I wonder how many of them are alive right now. God only knows. So where did CNN get that stunning number? Well, they were told by the Institute for National Security Strategy, a South Korean think tank. So at the time, 2016, a think tank belonging to North Korea's greatest enemy said the North Korean leader executes hundreds of people. This would be like if an ISIS think tank put out a report that the U.S. executes hundreds of people. Would you trust that? I mean, of course, if you count drone bombings, it'd be accurate, but still, that's not the point. Now, I'm sure some of you are going, but Lee, what about Kim Jong-un's ex-girlfriend, the famous Korean pop star who he brutally executed? Fair point. USA Today report, Kim Jong-un's ex-girlfriend executed. LA Times report, North Korea's Kim reportedly has ex-girlfriend, 11 others executed. CNBC, death by firing squad for Kim Jong-un's ex. Jesus Christ, this is bloodier than a Tarantino film. All right, well, have no fear though, folks. Executed North Korean pop star back from the dead. It's America. Is there anything pop stars can't do? Yes, she was seen touring factories with the portly despot, with rumors of her demise seemingly greatly exaggerated. That does sound exaggerated. She was only partially dead the whole time. And portly despot, is that really necessary? I mean, why doesn't our media ever call Trump a portly despot? Is he not? I mean, I'm just saying, you put him and Kim Jong-un on the opposite sides of a seesaw, I'm not putting my money on Donald being the one in the air, all right? To sum up here, I'm not saying Kim Jong-un is a good guy. I'm opposed to any supreme leader anywhere, like the decades-long dictatorial reign of Chuck E. Cheese over at Chuck E. Cheese. I don't care if the place is named after you. Have some democratic elections, rat. Let's get some fresh leadership in here. So while I'm no fan of Kim Jong-un, as an American, I'm incredibly offended by the propaganda machine we call our media. Most Americans don't doubt what they're told by CNN or NPR, or even Fox News. These lies are believed, and most Americans wander out into the world with our idiot half-baked facts, and we bump into other humans, and then we spread our dumbness like a disease. We're like, did you know Kim Jong-un killed his mother with a pack of angry panda bears? Oh, I will take that back to my friends. This is not who we should be. This is not our potential as humans. We could be living in a peace-filled, high-tech world where every human is fed and housed, and there's newspapers with information in them, and television shows that make you smarter, and ice cream cake that makes you skinnier. We could do it. But I swear to God, it's not science fiction. Coming to you from Washington, D.C., the belly of the beast is the Redacted Tonight.